Alpionis presents Tiny Tales of Transformation. Episode 11, The Leadership Committee. When an SME embarks on a major transformation, whether digital, operational, or related to its business model, the limiting factor is often the top team's ability to make quick decisions, arbitrate fairly, and execute reliably. This is precisely the role of a leadership committee, not to just discuss the issues, but to run the company like an operating system. Research on governance is clear on one fundamental point. Effective corporate governance is based on a structured relationship between direction, control, and execution. The board of directors sets the direction and supervises. Senior management executes and allocates resources. Confusing these levels creates noise, delays, and risks, especially in rapidly changing contexts. If we look at what science tells us about leadership teams, strategic management research, starting with the perspective of senior management, shows that organizational outcomes are strongly influenced by how the management team interprets information and translates it into choices. In other words, the leadership committee is not just a meeting. It is a collective decision-making mechanism that must be intentionally designed. So what does intentionally designed mean in an SME? Firstly, composition. In a company with about 20 to 100 employees, the core group should remain small, typically 4 to 6 members, made up of managers who are truly responsible for cross-functional decisions, budgets, operations, sales, finance, and when transformation is on the agenda, technology, projects, and people. Others should only be invited when the subject requires it. This protects speed and accountability. Secondly, the quality and clarity of decisions. An effective leadership committee relies on clear definitions. What are we deciding? Who is responsible? By when? How will we measure success? What is the main risk and how can it be mitigated? Without this structure, the committee drifts towards status reporting, and decisions dissolve into the ambiguity of follow-ups. Thirdly, pace and evidence. Transformation requires cadence, short cycles for quick decision-making, and clear visibility on performance and strategic review. The standards of the management system formalize this. Decisions must be reviewed regularly, supported by evidence, and converted into actions so that the organization can continuously adjust rather than just discuss. Fourth, portfolio governance. Transformation is not a single project. It is a portfolio of competing initiatives. Recognized portfolio management standards explicitly state that, in smaller organizations, senior management often bears the responsibility for governance, aligning initiatives with strategy, prioritizing, allocating capacity, and discontinuing initiatives that no longer make sense. Finally, a scientific approach. The best executive decisions are not based solely on hierarchy or intuition, but on triangulated evidence, organizational data, stakeholder needs, practitioner expertise, and relevant scientific findings. This is the logic of evidence-based practice applied to management. At Alpionis, our approach is pragmatic and disciplined. We help SMEs define the leadership committee perimeter, who decides what and why, install lightweight decision rituals, and safeguard execution through prioritization, indicators, and systematic arbitration, so the committee becomes a true control tower for the transformation and not just another meeting on overloaded agendas. Want to find out more? Join us on alpionis.ch. alpionys.ch.